equipment. Yeah, they had a sound system.
That's what I'm thinking.
No, the theaters, wherever it was, they did their little chorus. They had to maintain that. It got expensive.
They had special effects back then.
Probably, yeah. It was during great religious festivals that all these plays or choruses were produced. At the city of Dionysia, there were 3, they called them tragedies, 5 comedies, and 5 dithyrambics, a passionately emotional speech or piece of writing. And again, all these men had to be, paid, all the equipment. It cost as much as $3,000. No, some of them were volunteers, a lot of them were paid. 3,000 drachma. Now that's worth about $12 in the days of U.S. currency, but we're talking about ancient Greece. 3,000 drachma was a lot of money. And by the way, if you go search on drachma, it's still a piece of legal tender.
Really?
Yeah. It was supposed it's supposed to be converted over to the euro, but somehow it never completely got there.
Yes, please.
People undertook these duties out of their own pocket and love for a city. And they were called forget it.
Korigoi and Horigane.
The word has a certain lavishness to it. It never meant to equip in any cheese pairing, and it meant going in whole hog here. So this whole thing went out into a larger world and grew to mean not only to equip a chorus, but to be reasonable for any kind of equipment, for anything. It could be used for an army. But always at the back of it, there was this lavish generosity and equipment and everything that it took to put these choruses on. Peter really then is urging us to equip our lives with every virtue, and that equipment must not be simply a necessary minimum, but lavish and generous. The very word is an incitement to be content with nothing less than the loveliest and most splendid things of life, and that comes through Jesus Christ. But there's something else in the back of this. In verses 5 and 6, Peter goes on that we must, as the Revised Standard Version has it, add virtue to virtue until the whole culminates in Christian love. Now, behind this is a Stoic idea. You remember the Stoics there, Sharon?
Yeah.
Yeah, what were the Stoics?
People that didn't believe in something, thought something was only to be made up. Just an unbeliever.
Scott?
Say that again?
What are Stoics? You can read mine.
Stoics
Yeah, you can read.
is a Greek philosophy that basically means that you bear whatever's thrown at you.
Really?
No matter what it is. Stoicism nowadays it sort of means not showing any extremes in emotion.
Yeah, somebody
Not being affected by anything.
Staying calm, I guess.
I didn't know it was originally a religion.
Oh yeah, and
Not a religion so much as a philosophy.
They believe that happiness can only be achieved by accepting life's ups and downs as the products of unalterable destiny.
People still tell you that.
People talk about that in a different context of, learning how to achieve peace in life is, accepting things that, you cannot change, that sort of thing.
Well, see,
that makes sense.
We as Christians have the power to accept life's ups and downs. Here, to me, is the difference. The Stoics believed in an unalterable destiny. It was destined that you would wreck your car today.
So, like predestined.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I get into chapter 2, oh my God, there's a place there.
Yeah, because at this point, Peter's starting to talk about these other people that were kind of like distracting. Away from the message.
That is the whole purpose of this letter. But yeah, there's. I get the whole comedy routine already worked out for when I get to that one because it's hilarious. Prokope can be used for the advance of an army towards the objective. That's another one of the words that the Stoics like to use. They insisted that their life must be continuously prokope, a moral process or progress. In the Christian life, there must be a steady and moral advance. Again, you're not going to turn into that good Christian overnight. And you're going to stumble.
That's a constant job. That's a constant word I'm looking for.
That's what a whole life is about, Laura.
Well, it's never ending. You're going to constantly be working at that.
You don't make the goal until you die.
Nope.
Now, this brings us to another. I got a quote by Moffat. He's another guy. He's a little later in the whole thing. A lot later in the whole thing than Eusebius. But Moffat quotes as saying that the Christian life must not be an initial spasm followed by a chronic inertia, which is what, bless you, which is what most Christians are. You know, you turn into a Christian, there's this change, and all of a sudden, you know, you kind of stay there. I didn't start growing as a Christian until I was in my 30s. Really. I mean, really growing as a Christian.
Yeah, and we grew when we moved to New Jersey. That was a big time.
Well, when I started teaching Bible studies, that was a big change. Sunday school, Bible study. But you get that moment of wonder when you accept Christ, and you get that enthusiasm. And at times it's going to wane.
It waxes and wanes. Sometimes you get all excited again.
Wax on, wax off?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You want me to do that joke over the sheet? People can't see that, Sharon.
I know.
Sharon, people can't see that.
Yeah, I see it.
Really?
I think most people that have seen Karate Kid know what you're talking about.
No, they don't.
Most people would probably like to see us as we're on the air, like they used to be able to.
Which is really funny because I get a recording of this put on YouTube, but it's all audio.
Oh. I didn't know it showed up on YouTube.
Hey, baby, we's everywhere. We even on SoundCloud.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
That's how you've made it.
And we have our application in for what the heck is that new one? Something. Hey.
Vitamins or something.
iHeart?
Yeah. And
Really?
I haven't been approved yet. Oh yeah. We're trying to go out there, baby.
Phew. Man, I've really been out of the loop.
Well, you have, no kidding.
Yeah, you've never told me any of this stuff. What's wrong with you?
I don't even know what it means.
What's wrong with your daddy is a long and distinguished list, which we shall get into at another time. Now, not what we're talking about right now, but this whole idea of the moment of enthusiasm and what the Stoics thought brings us to another basic idea. Peter bids his people use all energy to do this.
Well, it makes me wonder. Laura, did you ever experience that feeling? I don't even know when you accepted God, Lord in your heart, but did you ever feel this feeling that we're talking about here?
Well, I don't remember doing that when I was a little kid, but I remember at one point when I was in middle school and I went on a camping trip. I ended up taking my friend Shelly Westfield with me. We went to this little retreat, and I got closer to God, I guess you could say. And I mean, you were pumped. It was euphoric, really.
Yeah. Okay. So you have felt it. Have you felt it, Scott?
Yeah, sometimes.
It's what's funny about me. Normally, when I feel that, I don't notice it when I'm feeling it. I notice it after the fact.
You realize it happened.
It's like, whoa.
Bird. They want in on the
Feeling
conversation.
it right now.
That's our parakeet.
That's Tori.
So we're supposed to use all our energy. The Christian life has to be a supreme effort. See, the grace of God is there. We got to cooperate with it. As Paul wrote it, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling, for God is at work in you, both to will and to work his good pleasure. He said that in Philippians. Work out your own salvation. I'm going to say this again. I've said it so many times on when I do these Bible studies. Your salvation is exactly that, yours. You got to work out your own salvation. I can't work it out for you. I can't make somebody accept Christ. I can't make somebody change. All I can do is say, hey, dude, you got to accept Christ. That ain't right.
We point our children in that direction. We teach them and guide them, but
But it's up to us to go down that road.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
It's like you can lead somebody to the door. It's their job to go through it. Paraphrasing from Matrix, sorry.
You see, it is true that everything is of faith, but a faith which does not issue in life is not faith at all. Just going to church and say, okay, I went to church, that's it, I did it. No. I say, you want to start a trend where you live? Just walk past people and smile and say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever. Have a blessed day.
Around here, people would like it.
Yeah. I get in lines a lot, naturally in stores, and I always make sure when I leave that person that is at the register who checked me out, I tell them to have a blessed day or God bless you.
Oh, I've had them do it for me.
Yep. So faith is not only commitment to the promises of Christ, it is also commitments of his demands. Now, it is true that if you accept Christ as your Savior, you've accepted the promise of Christ, and you're going to go to heaven. But I'll tell you what, I have found there is, and I love Stephen Curtis Chapman, heaven in a real world. We can make heaven here, except for the fact that, again, tragedy and other things strike. And if you want to read about tragedy, go read about Stephen Curtis Chapman's daughter when he ran over her with his own vehicle.
Well, heaven is wherever Jesus is, and Jesus is here with us. So,
Jesus is everywhere.
So, yeah, you can make heaven here if you have any. Yeah, if you ever notice, I do. That he talks to me, or he's around me.
Charles Biggs. Now, he was a professor of ecclesiastical history. Okay, now, there's a good question. What's ecclesiastical?
That I learned that in confirmation class, and I don't remember now. There's a book in the Bible
called Ecclesiastes, and there's also a book that's not included in the Bible called Ecclesiasticus. What's Ecclesiastes? I got a class today. I can ask questions.
It was a place of people that followed and worshipped a certain way or believed a certain way.
Nope. Essentially, it's a history lesson. Essentially, this guy's a professor of history. The question is, what history? The answer being the church's history.
Amanda says, my cousin Cletus' twin brother. So Ecclesiastes is
basically a study of church history.
Okay, so that's why we got it in confirmation class.
That's why you got it in confirmation class, yeah.
You have to study church history to understand how it evolved.
Now, this guy Biggs well points out that Aristotle in the Nicomachean Ethics says that there are three theories concerning the source of happiness. One is it is something which can come by training, by learning, and by the formation of right habits. Two, it is a matter of divine allotment, the gift of God. And three, it is all a matter of choice. The truth is, as a Christian sees it, happiness depends both on God's gifts and on our effort. We do not earn salvation, but at the same time, we have to use our energy towards the Christian objective of the lovely life. Look at the parable of the 10 virgins. Virgins. Matthew 25, 1 through 13. Now, if you don't remember the story, Matthew tells us, then the kingdom of heaven shall be like unto 10 virgins who took their lamps and went out to meet the bridegroom. 5 of them were wise and 5 were foolish. Those who were foolish took their lamps but took no extra oil with them. But the wise took extra oil in their vessels with their lamps. But when the bridegroom was delayed, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight a cry was heard, behold, the bridegroom is coming. Here he comes. Run out to meet him. All those virgins arose and trimmed the lamps. And the foolish ones said to the wise ones, give us some of your oil, will you? But the wise said, nope, lest there not be enough for us and for you. But go rather to those who sell and buy for yourselves. And they went